Good evening, everybody. Welcome live to my podcast tonight. I have a special guest. Hopefully, you all recognize him. It's Joe Bonanno. Joe, I want to thank you first for coming on. I know you're a busy guy. I appreciate you taking the time out to speak with me tonight. So, how you doing?
Yeah, good, George. Good to be here.
Surviving the snow?
Yeah, barely. Finally got out of the house today. Damn
I've
plow
got
finally took like
cabin fever.
15 minutes to do the driveway. I've been there for 2 days, but got a lot done at the house.
Done.
Yeah.
So we're gonna make this fun, like I did with Eddie. It's all about relaxing, having a good time. Hopefully, the audience likes it. I'm gonna get into. You've been around a long time in the music world. I've seen you a few times. You're excellent. You do different types of shows, which are fantastic. So, what first got you into music, and when was it?
Oh God, going back, I guess growing up, I grew up in Newark, New Jersey, and we moved probably in 1968. Of just hearing the music around where I lived. Guys were actually back then. I'm a little older than a lot of people out there. I guess I come follow the band, but the hearing doo-wop on the corners, it was almost like a Brooklyn thing happening in Newark, New Jersey. A lot of guys just singing on the front stoops and listening to all that. And then my mother obviously was sang a lot. Listened to the radio, so that was kind of cool. Yeah,
So, you
that's
grew up in Newark. You grew up in Newark.
yeah. Springfield Avenue, 17th Street, Springfield Avenue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I go back on the Google Maps, to Google Earth, and look back and see my old neighborhood and see the tree that's been outside there. It's still there, but the house is gone. And just I take the route, walking to school, and around the park and stuff. It was pretty neat doing that. Fun
You
stuff.
ride. You ride back home. Do you go ride back to the neighborhood every once in a while just to check out to get memories and what it was like when you were a kid? I'm sure it's different now, right?
No,
Okay,
it's
I
a little,
figured.
it's a
It's
little
not. It's
rough
not.
over here. It's
Okay.
a little rough
Okay.
over there. That's a
Okay.
rough area.
Who
You know.
inspired you to make music?
Um, Probably that. Listen to the music. It was a thing. Actually, my whole life before that was basketball, 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 basketball. I was watched a lot of the sports, but basic basketball was my growing up thing. And I probably
Lost you, Joe. Bear with me, guys. Popped off on me, Joe. Can you hear me? Technical issues here. His end's kind of we were setting up a half hour beforehand and we were having a little bit of issues. So I'm good. He can see me. I think he may have to re-sign in. Joe, you're gonna have to re-sign in, brother. Make sure you're using Chrome, Joe. I'm on Chrome. Sorry, everybody. I was getting off to a good start. We were having this issue setting up around 7:30. Bear with me. So we're going to get into some more of the stuff here. I'm also going to implement some sports stuff. And obvious Joe, he played basketball, and he's a big sports fan. He and I talk about sports a lot. I'm getting into a little bit of, for what would it be awesome for you guys to see more about Joe that you don't know about, and that's what I did with Eddie too. Just bear with us. I'm okay on my end. The first time I tried to get Eddie on, it was my fault. I wasn't in Chrome. It's important when I do this, when I have a guest on, or when you come on with me, that you get into Chrome. So we got disconnected. So I'm waiting for Joe to connect back with me here. Okay. So just bear with me, and my apology. I'm good on my end. It happens. We gotta go with the flow here. I was just getting into some of the stuff with Joe. If you missed it, when he first got into music, he was telling me that a little bit. And he grew up in Newark, and was getting to the part where he was listening to music and doo-wop and playing basketball. So, and then we got disconnected. So I'm waiting for him to sign back in. I'm keeping this going. I appreciate those that are on right now. Just bear with us. I apologize again. This is technology at its finest or at its worst, whatever you want to call it. So just bear with us. Stay on, please. And we should be on again in a few minutes. Joe has to get back in somehow. It's definitely, hopefully, to get in Chrome is important. I'm in it myself here, so he could probably see me. I can't see him. He's trying to get back in again. There he is. Joe, you back?
I'm back.
I kept us on, brother. Kept talking, man. I'm like, he's got to sign back in. Hey, this is great.
It's funny because why did you tell me you can't really use the phone? And actually, that was my mother calling. That's pretty funny.
Tell your mom to turn on the computer and watch you talk.
So if anybody's listening out there, don't call me because it's going to.
Don't call for a while, please. You'll disconnect us. Don't. That goes for Ed Lefevre too. Don't do it. Don't call him yet or anybody.
Man. Why did we figure that
out?
Let
us do our podcast.
How can we shut it off?
All right, so I was like, who inspired you to make music? We'll go back to that one.
Elvis Presley. Yeah, probably the early watching Elvis on Ed Sullivan. That got into my blood, and hearing the doo-wop stuff on the corners. And listen to that. That's where my my main feeling comes from. The soul music.
Right.
That's where it all derives from. That was pretty fun.
So,
all right.
How do you approach translating the emotion of a song into a live performance when you perform? I've seen you do different things, and you just get your personality into it. How do you go about doing that?
I think a lot of it's feeling, and like I have to feel when I'm singing. There's a lot of people that go out there and sing a song just for singing a song, and I like pick songs that I can really get into, or the emotion. I could feel the emotion of the song, which I could translate and hopefully put out into the audience.
Well, I've seen you do different types of stuff. I've seen you at certain venues. And even with my girlfriend, she's like, "Oh my God, I didn't know we could play that." Because the first time she saw you, she was like, "I don't really like that music." And then we saw you again. She's like, "Oh my goodness, he's playing a whole different set kind of music." But you do that, which is pretty tough to do.
Yeah, we switch it up a lot. I try to switch it up. Depends on the venues where we're playing. Like on the we do a lot of outdoor concerts, a lot of municipalities and stuff. So when we do that, you could do stuff that you don't have to even try to get people to try to dance because everybody's in their seats. You try to stuff they could listen to and enjoy a little more than worried about them trying to dance and stuff. So you try to do a little less dance music, more concert music.
I had Eddie on with me a couple of weeks ago. It definitely, your styles are both different, and you just mentioned dancing. He gets people involved a lot, so you come from a different approach with that. I am assuming, correct?
Yeah, well, there's a wall. I always try to break the wall between the artist and the crowd and the fans, and it's important to do that. I like to talk more, and relate, set up songs, and go about it that way. I'm not really too concerned about trying to make people dance because there's a lot of bands people go see that just love to go watch, listen to the music. There's a lot of great bands out there today.
What's the best piece of advice you received from a fellow musician? It could have been anybody. It could have been somebody famous.
Well, be true to yourself and try to be more original, do original. Don't get caught in the trap, doing cover stuff. But as time goes on, it's an instant gratification of doing cover songs. When I was younger, when I first started, we wrote a lot. We did a lot of our own stuff, did a lot of recordings, and it was good. And then as clubs started going downward, where original music was appreciated, you were playing more cover clubs, and then obviously you got to do more cover music. And the instant gratification of doing a song and hearing people, they're not really clapping for you. They're clapping for that song, of how you present the song. They're dancing to that beat that somebody else made. So their actual reward is do what you do. But unfortunately, as time goes by, you get that instrumentation and things change.
How's your sound evolved from your early work to now? Have you changed from when you first started to now?
Well, when we first started, um, it was more big horn stuff. We were playing with like four horns. There was clubs that could fit you on stage, first of all, and there was clubs that couldn't fit you, but we played. Matter of fact, there was Mary Husband's Pub down in Belmar, which is actually what Joe's Surf Shack now. I mean, we had 10 pieces on this little stage, like a postage stamp, and playing that. And we were doing a lot more R&B. I would do a lot more obscure stuff with our original music, and the obscure stuff went over well with the big horns. But things have changed, and now we're bigger shows. We're putting a horn section on. It's the sound is still there. I think it's more, still R&B soul influenced.
You have a few favorite musicians that you like to play their music at your shows?
Yeah, probably a lot of the soul stuff I really enjoy more than anything. We've worked with a lot of soul artists back when we were doing more original stuff. Like we opened for James Brown, which was an incredible. After he passed away, I was like, wow. I never asked all the people we met, worked with. I never asked any of them for like a photo or even an autograph. I don't do that, but I really wish I would have had a photo with James Brown. That was kind of cool.
I'm going to get to that eventually. You mentioned James Brown, but I'm going to get to one here. What is the most memorable live show you've ever played?
Most memorable live show. I would, there's a couple, but the one that probably is big in my heart is probably the first time I had my son play with us on stage, believe it or not. I've done a lot of big shows. We played in Vegas. That was probably up there, but we did a lot of LOD shows, light of day shows, but probably the most memorable was when my son first played with us on stage, which was kind of cool, having him up there. And my daughter also. But the first
Daughter's very talented. I've seen her sing. I mean, I guess this is going to implement some sports in because I played sports and coached around sports. And as a father, I don't believe that you force your kids into this. Like some parents live their failures or whatever, their athletic stuff through their kids. I don't think you
yeah.
do that. They do it on their own. This is something they
Yeah,
wanted
no,
to
it
do.
was on their own because they were always around it, They were always around the music, coming to my shows and, going to other shows and meeting a lot of famous artists. So they were really into it, which was nice. Which
Got
was
to
nice.
make you proud. It's got to make you
Yeah.
proud as a
Yeah.
dad. Say that they're following
Yeah.
kind of like in your footsteps a little bit.
Yeah. It's always fun. It's always fun.
What are your favorite venues that you played at? And we can also put in that. What are some of your least favorite venues? I don't, not ripping the places, but there's usually different reasons for. I have this favorite place, or this place. I didn't really like it for this reason.
Well, I like playing in this area. I mean, I like playing the Hard Rock down in AC, the Hard Rock Casino. They treat you well. They take really good care of you with rooms and food, and it pays really well. And playing there, that's probably one of my favorite places to play. We do a lot in Atlantic City. We do Harrah's, now the Voodoo Lounge, which is called. We've done some of the beach bars there, but that's probably my favorite place out of all the
Hard,
places.
Hard Rock. Okay. What's your most memorable concert? Either as a spectator. Might want to just go there.
This is a good story. I'll try to brief it. Is when we were younger, I think it was 1973. There was Richard Nader always had these rock and roll revivals every at Madison Square Garden, and it was like Chubby Checker, Fats Domino, Little Richard, Dion, Gene Duke of Earl Chandler. He had all the top artists in a group, maybe 7, 8 great ones, and it was always backed up by some really good bands. And there was one show where my friend's older brother, bought tickets, and he thought they were tickets for the Moody Blues, but it turned out to be for Richard Nader's Rock and Roll Revival. So he gave us like 8 seats, and we didn't know when we went there, but the stage was actually set up like like a boxing ring in the center of Madison Square
Excuse
Garden.
me.
So there was 4 sides all around, and we were in the first row. And a little sidebar, you think about like, how people drank, try to sneak drinks in. A good friend of ours, we took a gallon of orange juice, dumped half of it out and filled it with vodka. This is the truth. And we actually walked into Madison Square Garden and the guard goes, "What's in there?" My friend actually talked to him and he said, "This is stuff. I'm diabetic. I need orange juice." And the cop goes, "Okay, go in." So here
Wow,
we
that
are.
wouldn't happen
I mean,
today.
we're drinking, a gallon of this stuff. I mean, we got lit. So right
Wow.
from the beginning, Chuck Berry was the headliner, and right from the beginning, my friends were all pretty lit up, and they were going on and on. We want Chuck, which was kind of disrespectful to the other artists. I mean, Gene Ducavro, Chandler was up there, Fats Domino, and we're yelling, "We want Chuck." The minute Chuck Berry walks on stage, and there's no exaggeration, he walks on stage, all hell breaks loose. Three of my friends jump up onto the stage. One of my friends grabs the microphone and is impersonating Marv Albert on the
Oh
microphone. My
God.
other friend grabbed Chuck Berry's guitar. I get on stage, my back pocket gets ripped off, my wallet goes flying on the floor. I jump back down. Cops are hitting us with billy clubs. Lights go on. The concert at Madison Square Garden was over. We stopped the
Wow.
concert in Madison Square Garden. Now, years later, Keith Richards did a documentary. I think it was called "Hail Hail Rock and Roll." Maybe I could be mistaken. And I was saying to myself, please let him use this footage of Chuck Berry in his later years. I mean, still so popular. And he didn't use it. But another friend of mine was friends with Richard Nader and tried to get the footage because we said for sure there's got to be, the inside cameras, for safety reasons and holding this film, but nothing ever came of it. But that's a true story.
Wow. Well,
That was my most memorable concert.
someone we know just text me, and I don't know if I'm being set up for something here. I'm going to trust him, and it's from Ed Lefevre. He wants me to ask you about your connection with Chuck Zito.
Chuck Zito. Oh, I think we have the same noses. Yeah, me and Chuck, we became good friends years ago. Believe it or not, backstage at a East Street Band concert, Bruce and East Street Band, and since then we stayed in touch. Probably back in the early '80s. Yeah, Chuck, and recently me and Ed were at a baseball game with him at the one of the Yankee games. We hung out with him, had dinner. Chuck's a great guy. I talked to him a couple of weeks ago. He's in some crazy things, some movies, and he's done a lot. Chuck's a good guy.
Guys, you can text me. You can go on the chat with questions, or you can come in the studio. So I appreciate Ed sending that question to me. I wasn't sure if he was setting me up for something, but because I don't
No,
trust him.
no, it's all cool. Chuck's a
I
great
wasn't
guy,
sure.
man. He
I
was a
wasn't
bodyguard to
sure.
the stars. Yeah.
So, what is the most unusual or funniest thing that's happened to you during a show?
Oh boy, here we go. My wife listening. No, but
Whatever.
I think she heard this story. So years ago, when we were playing with the big horn section, one of my agents, I believe it was Sammy Boyd, God rest his soul, he asked us to play the Aztec Lounge on the boardwalk in Seaside, which is still there. Really small venue. And I was like, Sammy, we can't fit there. He goes, just downscale the band. I says, I'll go in there with 4 or 5 pieces. He said, don't worry about, just do what you do. So we went in, not even a saxophone, the keyboard played a lot of sax leads, guitar stuff, harmonica I played. And we're up there playing at the Aztec and this little stage in the back. And this girl comes up, walks up to the stage. She had a little tube top on, tight pants, and she's dancing, dancing, dancing. I'm singing. I'm not paying attention to her right. I turn to my right, and she starts taking off her clothes in
Whoa.
the Aztec. And I'm just like, whoa, this has got to stop. So, as a sidebar, my drummer's wife just happened to leave. She went out for, I don't know, cheesesteak, whatever, on the boardwalk. And I look one more time, and she's stark naked on the stage dancing. I'm like, this can't be. I was like, this cannot be happening. So all of a sudden, the bouncers come up to the stage, and I thought they were going to take her away from the stage, throw her off. I was like, they surrounded her, and they actually started pouring salt on her and tequila and licking off the salt and tequila off parts of her body, which we're not going to talk about.
Yeah,
But
you're allowed to say we're not on regular radio, man. We can
we can talk
go
about it,
for
but
it.
no, I don't want to get too
I'm
deep
just,
into it. So, lo and behold, as they start taking her off stage, minutes have gone by. The band is, I'm saying, you guys got to keep playing. I mean, they're going to get her off. I'm saying, you guys got to get her off stage. The drummer's wife happened to walk in and all hell broke loose. That
oh
was his
God.
last show with the band. Johnny Kasauskas, if you're listening, that was it. His wife goes, "You're out of this band. These guys are too crazy," which we had nothing to do. We had nothing to do about it. It
Not
was
our fault. The girl
not
wanted
my
to strip her
fault.
clothes
I
naked.
was saying, take her off stage, and they're doing other things, you know. But
Oh God.
yeah, yeah, Trentonian page 6. That's all she kept saying. Look for me on Trentonian page 6.
I don't want to ask, man, because that's gonna bring back my memories. I can't do that. Trentonian Pace. I don't want to know.
No, we don't want to know about that, George.
Hey, if you could collaborate with any artist, living or dead, who would it be?
Wow, it'd be kind of cool. Uh, probably I would think maybe Elvis Presley. Yeah, or maybe George Harrison.
Beatle.
Yeah,
Beatle.
yeah, that would be kind of cool.
Now
So I go with that.
you already told me you opened for James Brown. Okay.
Yeah.
If you could open a show for any artist other than James Brown, who would it be? And who have you done? Who have you opened up for other than James Brown? Since you already opened that door.
Oh God, the list was Stylistics. It's one of my favorite bands.
They're
Soul
from
band.
Philly, brother. They're one of my
Yeah.
all-time favorites. I love the
We worked with the
Stylistics.
Stylistics 2 or 3 times. Uh,
Wow.
Johnny Maestro in the Brooklyn Bridge, phenomenal, phenomenal voice. We worked with him like 2 times over. I think once at Archstocks Birch, which is no longer there, over in Route 9 in Old Bridge. That was a place. Um, yeah, I mean Jerry Lee Lewis, worked with Jerry Lee Lewis. God, we opened for Beaver Brown, John Cafferty, Southside Johnny a bunch of times. We played the parking lot before Springsteen a few times. So actually, one of your places in Philly, we did that show twice.
What place?
Uh, was it Wells Fargo? Was it?
Wells Fargo. Okay, down.
Yeah,
It's been
yeah,
named 85 different things. It's now.
yeah.
I
John
think it's now
Stadium.
the. Yeah, I don't know what it is now. Of course, they named it something else.
Yeah, it's probably a different name now. But yeah, Giants Stadium. We did a couple shows outside there. They set up this boardwalk stage, which was kind of fun. They gave us free tickets and everything for that. Yeah, God, there's a list. Oh God, it just keeps going. A lot of great people I met, played with, but definitely the height of it was James Brown. I have to say, I
That's
was at
great.
the Baker Ballroom, Baker Ballroom up in Morristown,
That guy was talented. I
Dover,
remember.
Dover, up over
I
Dover.
remember from the Rocky movies. The Rocky movie. And some of his other stuff. I'm a young guy, man. I'm younger than you, man. What do you want?
Well, it's all history. You got to learn your history.
Yo, how do you feel about? Well, this is one of my favorite questions, and I'm pros and cons of the internet and this avenue. How do you feel about the internet, social media platforms, how they've impacted the music world, including, I mean, you guys too, and
Well,
promoting
yeah,
yourself?
I mean, it did a lot. It really did a lot as far as for advertising. Obviously, the free stuff on Facebook is all free. You advertising. Yeah, there, Instagram, TikTok, all those places, it's all free. But then we could get into the downside of it, which is happening now, is the whole AI thing, which is it's good. And we have close friends who make some great posters, which is phenomenal. Some nice things, but the art of it, there's fake bands out there now. There's actually fake bands making fake music, and these songs are absolutely tremendous. I've heard stuff I was like, wow. And it's all AI driven, fake guys in the band. You're looking at a video, you think it's someone playing. You can take anybody's voice and dub it in, and it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt a lot of artists. You know, Even art. I mean, they're making paintings with a robot putting a brush in its hand with AI and actually painting beautiful paintings, brushstrokes. Yeah,
Scary stuff. I mean, I
it's
play
very
around with
scary.
it. I play around with the pictures with my pictures, and I've seen. I'm going to ask you this because you're a musician, and a lot of musicians out there are saying, please don't do these AI things with your pictures. You may think it's cute,
Yeah,
but they seem to be mentioning. I guess I'm understanding why you mentioned it, that it's stop it because it's going to hurt us eventually. And I joke around with it, but I've seen a lot of musicians are not laughing at the fact that we're taking some pictures of ours and making them into uh, cartoon type of creators and stuff like that. So you
yeah, that's
explained that. I
all
was like,
fun. It's all good fun stuff for advertising. It does a lot. But I mean, there's people writing lyrics with it. Pumping ideas and pumping out songs just the lyrics, which is kind of I guess that's the new art form, right?
that's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, AI scares me. I got to tell you. I mean, I'm hearing it's going to be great for health and all that other stuff. It scares me. I don't want them to make a dub of me. I only want one of me. That's enough for people. It's scary. AI scares me. It just scares me.
yeah. So I was at a conference for a film industry, and they were talking about it. And these kids, they're all young kids. I thought they'd be all for it. They were all booing it when the speaker got up and he started talking about it. How do you feel about AI? And they were all boo, hiss, boo. They were really down on it. There's going to be feature films. They're saying in another 2 years, there's going to be actually feature films with stars that don't even exist. These are going to be fake movie stars making full length movies. Kids are going to be able, as long as they have enough, memory and stuff, RAM on their computers, they'll be able to make full length movies at home
Wow,
in a week.
that's crazy. That's
Yeah.
absolutely
It'll
crazy.
write a script and start right there to be selling movies. You know,
Wow,
I don't know
wow.
how Netflix is going to feel about that with their new building going,
Yeah,
right?
I live where they're building that new Netflix.
Mm.
That place is going to be massive and
Yeah,
crazy.
it
The
was like
traffic
2
is
years,
insane.
2028.
Yeah, that we'll see what happens with that. So what in your opinion, what is the biggest misconception people have about musicians?
Um, that none of them really want to work like 9 to 5, that they're all just laying around on the couch all day. But a lot of them have to work 2 jobs, and a lot of them, misconceptions, they're drunks or drug addicts, or that's probably the biggest misconception, I think.
I I have a lot of admiration for musicians. I remember in high school going to I don't and going in the '80s watching high school bands. Where on Friday nights we would go to someone's garage and open up the garage and sit in the driveway and listen to them play.
Right.
It amazes me the talent you guys have. Now, other than singing, what other instruments were you good at playing at?
I play guitar. I could play. I'm not a great lead player, but I could play just about any rhythm. I know basically all the chords. A little keyboards. You know, I dabbled on drums. I have a full drum set in my warehouse. It's put away. I'd like to get it out one day, but yeah, definitely. I wrote a lot of stuff on the piano.
What is your favorite song to perform?
Favorite song to perform is probably a song I wrote years ago called "Every Time You Walk Into the Room." Yep, that's you could check it out on YouTube. There's a bunch of stuff on all the platforms.
Is that a song you wrote yourself?
Yeah, yeah, it's one of my originals.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
the ones I really love singing my own stuff. And there's a song we put out and we just had it back out on up on social media was Valentine's Day on Valentine's Day. I love singing that one.
What is the most? You already gave me one story. I'm sure there's more. What is the most trouble you've ever gotten into?
Trouble. Come on, George.
Tara, go in the other room.
uh, all right. Yeah, I guess it was trouble, but we didn't get arrested because I think they didn't believe what we were doing. So I'm a big Nick fan, and I've been to tons of playoff games. I was there 72, 73. Unfortunately, they won it in LA that year, which kind of sucked for me, but we had the tickets for that. Um, and we were sitting probably right above where Marv Albert used to have his box, above where they used to come out, the players used to come out. We had great seats at the time. And I'm with a friend of mine, and he worked for M&M Bars. So he had the concession there where everything was free. I mean, we're drinking, we're eating ribs. It was like, the world was coming to an end. That's how we're eating and drinking. So we got pretty lit. And it was during the playoffs. And during the playoffs, the circus was always in town. And so you could actually back then smell the elephants. I mean, you could smell the shit. There you go. How's that sound from the
You can say
elephants?
it. You're
I could
okay.
say it. But yeah, you would smell that in the trapeze at Madison Square Garden. I always remember walking in and you're looking up. You knew it was playoff time when you saw the trapeze and the Knicks were doing good. The trapeze is in the air and you could smell the elephant manure. I didn't say shit, did I? No, the manure. And so we're drinking and the Knicks won and everybody's happy. And my friend looks at me, goes, "We ready to leave?" I go, "No, I want to go see the elephants." He goes, "What are you talking about?" I says, "We're going to go see the elephants." He goes, "How are we going to do that?" I says, "Listen, we're going to lay down on the seats on the floor and wait for all the cops to leave. And they're going to start cleaning up." Because "You're out of your mind." I go, just listen to me." So we lay down on the floor on the seats. We waited, peeking around. Nobody's around, just all the guys working, picking up the court with the forklifts are going and taking down the baskets. And so we walked down and we walked through the tunnel. Nobody said a word to us. We weren't dressed that nice. So, we look like some of the workers. And so we walk through the back and I see the Knicks locker room. And I say, shit. I'm trying to open the door. I was like, wow, it'd be nice, a couple jerseys in there, right? So that was locked. And we walk down the hall a little more, and there's these double doors. And all of a sudden I hear, ah! I was like, Bobby looks, he goes, "Holy shit." I go, "Bob, the elephants are in there." We open the doors, and no shit, the elephants were there, chained. And we walk in, and here we are petting the elephants. All of a sudden, these it was three cops. Two grabbed me. I was a little bigger. My friend was short. The other one grabs me. I'm like, "What are you guys doing here?" And they took out their billy clubs and they're ready to slam the shit out of us. They took us, threw us down on the ground, and they were like half joking with us. And they were like, "Would you want these elephants to stomp on your heads?" I go, "Holy fuck." I go, "Come on, man." And they go, "Listen, get out of here right now." They took us by the collar. They walked us down the ramp. There's a ramp that goes down Madison Square Garden. Obviously, as they bring all the stuff in. And they
Right,
just
right.
pushed us down the ramp. We went flying down the ramp, laughing our asses off. But that was probably the most trouble I ever got in, as
Wow.
far as close
Wow.
to being arrested. Just a lot of small things, but just a story like that. It was close. It was close to be getting sent to Rikers Island.
Rikers
What are you in
Island.
here for, boy?
Petting the elephants.
Pet the elephants. Yeah.
So what's the best advice you could give a young musician right now? Like you have your son playing with you. If you have a young musician that's just
Yeah.
starting out, what's the best
Starting
bit of
out,
advice you could give them?
try to just, if you really want to make it in the business, try to write songs and hone, your writing skills and stick to your own music. Don't get in the trap of the instant gratification. I keep saying that word, but that's what it is, of doing cover music. It's fun. You make money doing it, but you want to go for the big ring, the big brass ring. You got to be true and write songs and stick to doing your own music and promote, promote, promote. But it's hard today. Nobody's buying albums. I mean, everybody's downloading everything.
Right.
Nobody's buying albums anymore.
LPs, man. I remember those
Singles.
days, Brian.
Yeah, yeah. That's all everybody's putting out is singles. And it's getting easier and easier with, home studios and unfortunately with the AI, but we don't want to go there. But yeah, that's what I would tell the kids.
If you could change anything about the music industry, what would it be?
Change anything. Wow. I don't think much, it's an art, as much as I don't like, well, I don't say I don't like it, I don't listen to it much, hip hop. But that's an art. That's an art form, you can't change that. That's expression. I don't think there's much I would change, other than, how basically, we're going back to the internet, had it destroyed selling records. I mean, that it's just everything's download, one or two songs people download. That's probably it, but you can't change it. You can't change that. That would have been impossible. The internet was coming. There was no way stopping it, you know?
Now, you said you were a basketball fan as a kid. What other sports did you play as a kid? And now I'm going to start implementing my portion of the program, the sports end. So I'm going to
Just
start with that one.
just basketball. That was I always watched a lot of sports. I would watch, baseball, football, but back, that my growing up was basketball, basketball, basketball. And I played junior college 2 years. That was fun. A lot of good road trips, and yeah, that was my game. Me and
What
you're
was your
gonna go out one day.
What was your
We're gonna go
position?
one on one.
You know what? I played and I swam. So the two sports
Wow, that the swimming. That's
they conflicted with each other. But I could shoot. I like playing to keep myself in shape. So I
yeah,
wanted to play basketball, but I was an excellent swimmer. So the two sports were in the same season. So
yeah,
I went the swimming direction.
yeah. That's pretty hard. Let me tell you, pretty hard doing that.
People
Use
think swimming's easy, but you know what? It's one of the toughest sports out there. It's a mental thing. Everybody, oh, it's easy swimming laps. No, we swim laps on times.
yeah.
Okay. And I had football players that would swim. And when I coached, I had one of our star football players on the team I coached came out for swimming, and he came up to me and goes, "This is worse than football practice." I said, "Told you." It's a mental thing. You're swimming laps, but you're doing it on times, and it's just
Yeah.
it's crazy. People think swimming's easy. It's not. It's not.
I'll try shooting
So
90. Try shooting 90 free throws in a row.
Larry Bird did that. Michael Jordan would do that. That's why they were so good. You know what I mean?
I
You
did
know,
that.
you did that. 90, huh?
90, 90 in a row, George.
90 in a
90,
row?
90 in a row. Swear to
Yeah.
you. Yeah. 90 in a row.
Damn, man.
My arm was after that. My arm was killing me.
90 in a row. So, all
90,
right, you're a New York Knicks fan, correct?
correct.
I want you to tell me what the problem is with the New York Knicks right now.
The chemistry. I think there's they put a lot of pieces in, and you just got this other kid Alvarado who's great. That they were Kolick was getting a lot of time. And when he would come in a game, he turned things around, and he's not getting much playing time. I don't think they figured it out yet. They got a lot of talent, but I don't think they actually figured it out with that talent how to make it gel together.
Is
They
it the
had
head
some
coach?
injuries. Every team goes through injuries, but that's the tough. It's to get all these guys to jive. Years ago, they say that playing these guys, they were overplaying them. But 2 years ago, a year ago, when the playoff comes, they were worn down. But when you play guys together, they know each other, and you substitute a couple guys, and that's what made the team go. But it's a long season, injuries, and it's sad. It really is. You
Thing that
can't.
drives me crazy about basketball is this term called load management
Yeah,
and players taking a night off. My son talks to me about this. He lives in California, right? And he likes the Sixers, and they come out to play Sacramento. In the last 3 years they've come out, the Sixers have sat Embiid. I mean, I think it's a crime. You're a fan, you pay this price
yeah.
tickets to go see a player play, and they're taking a night off. Jordan would never taken a night off.
No,
The
come on.
Knicks back in the day in the '70s, Willis Reed wouldn't have taken a night off. I mean, look at what Willis Reed did when he was injured and for the Knicks against the Lakers. That's memorable stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
I mean, this load management is just it drives me crazy as a
yeah.
basketball fan.
Speaking of Jordan, I just heard today is that he in the playoffs there was 4 years in a row in certain not finals, not semifinals, but different playoff rounds. He averaged over 40 points. That is sick.
Think
Four
about
years,
this.
4 years in a row.
He
Nobody's
he
even
won
done that.
three he won three titles in a row, right? And then he left to play baseball for 2 years. Then he
Yeah,
came back and won three more titles. If he didn't leave, he would have won eight straight. There's no doubt he would have won eight straight. Some people go, well, Houston was he would have not. He would have won 8 straight titles. The man. I'm a huge Jordan fan, and I think number 2 is Kobe. I know a lot of people want to bring up LeBron. I am not a LeBron fan.
No,
Never have
I'm
been.
saying the same thing. Yeah, I've never. LeBron really wasn't. I mean, he's good and he's great, but he wasn't like an athlete. He would just bully his way down the lane half the time and very clumsy. Not
I
good.
don't think he could play. I don't think he could play in the '80s. I don't think he could have played against the Bad Boys of
No,
Detroit. I don't think he
no,
could have played against the Sixers. I don't think he could have played against Chicago. I
no.
mean, he flops like a fish out of water when he. I mean, it's crazy. I sit there. I don't want to sound like an old man, but I sit there and go, he couldn't carry Michael Jordan's gym bag.
Yeah, I know people try. I mean, he's not going to catch on maybe points, but I mean, just the accolades. It's not even close. But
Are
then
you a football fan?
people forget about. Look at John Havlicek's stats when you got time. You want to see stats?
I've made a list, and I don't even have LeBron in the top. I mean, he may not even be in the top 10 all time. I could sit here and just read off guys. I would put Michael, Kobe, Wilt. I would put Russell with all the titles. Oscar Robertson. You could put Walt Frazier, Earl Monroe. I mean, I could, and everyone's going, wait a second. LeBron is great. No, he's not great. He's not great. I don't think he's great. I call him a fraud. I've never been a fan of his. He tries so hard. He's selfish. He's just completely. What can you imagine a Michael in the '80s saying, "All right, I'm playing in the Olympics in '84," and collaborates with all these players. Say, you know what? Why don't we form a team together and go win a championship?
Yeah.
You imagine him playing with Bird and Magic on the same team. Could you imagine that? LeBron needed that to win. What he did in Miami was a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just not a fan of that. It just ekes me the wrong way.
There's a great special on, I don't know how many people have to follow basketball, but about the ABA. It's on Prime. Have you listened to it? Did you watch it yet or no?
No,
like
really. The old ABA?
Tremendous.
I have to write that on Prime, right?
Yep.
I have to watch that. Think about the players that played in the ABA.
True. Tremendous stuff.
Doc played.
Yeah, you watch, Doc. I mean, Louis Dampier. Was it Dampier? Louis Dampier? I think, yeah. Billy Pauls.
David Thompson. You had George Gervin. You had
nice man.
Moses Malone played there too. I mean, think about that. I mean, and you had when it disbanded, then some of those teams came to the NBA. I remember it was Denver, San Antonio. I know that the Nets came eventually to the NBA. But think about all the players that played in the ABA. It's crazy. So the talent they had.
Pat Boone was the first entertainer to buy a sports team.
What team did he buy?
It was Oakland Oaks.
Didn't know that. Wow.
ABA team, Oakland Oaks. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. Cool stuff.
So, are you a football fan too?
A Giant fan, Jets. But I know you're an Eagle fan.
We're in trouble, man. You guys got. If people back home get on me, I'm not. Look, I'm a Philly fan, but I'm not a homer, and I rip my own teams. And the Giants are going to be tough, and I'm a big Harbaugh guy, both of them. And John Harbaugh can coach, and I've seen him on some podcasts. He's going to get players. They're going to be smash mouth, and they're going to give the Eagles some fits. And I know we've owned the Giants over the years, but I already said I think the Giants win the NFC East. I mean, think about it. It's been over 20. It's been over 20 years since we had back-to-back winners in the NFC East, and Eagles did that this year. I'm not saying the Eagles are going to be bad. They're good. They got Howie Roseman. They'll get players, but I truthfully believe the Giants are going to give them fits over the next couple of years. And I think the Giants win the NFC East. I'll put it right out there right now.
Really? Wow.
Yep.
All right. There you go. We'll see.
Hey, I'm a baseball fan too. I don't think the Phillies are going to win the division. I think the Phillies finished third in the NL East.
There you go. All right.
I love my teams, brother, but I try to be real. You know what I mean? And people back home get mad at me about that. Hey, look, I love Philly.
As far as basketball, I think Detroit's coming out of the East.
You think Detroit?
Yep. Yeah.
I'm going to give you one right now, and they've been without one of their best players all year, and they're still playing good basketball. Do not fall asleep on the Boston Celtics.
I knew you were going to say that. They're playing good. No, they're playing good.
And the boys coming back.
Oh, do you
Okay.
think Tatum's going to be back for the playoffs?
He is. What's his name is coming back? Yeah, he's coming back.
For the
He'll be
playoffs?
playing.
Tatum?
He'll be ready for the playoffs. Look what they're doing without him.
Yeah.
If they put him back in the lineup, look. I know the Knicks beat them last year, but I'm just watching them play, and they're a team. They're a team. And Cleveland, don't fall asleep on Cleveland. Cleveland smacked the Knicks last night, but Cleveland, a lot of people like too. So the Eastern Conference should be interesting for basketball. And as far as the Sixers, done. They're done.
I got to look at the schedule when Detroit plays Cleveland. That should be on Prime TV. That should be a good one.
I don't think the Knicks want to see Detroit. I watched Detroit last week against the Knicks at MSG.
It was a joke,
dude. They're good. Detroit is good.
Yeah,
they are good.
Yep. Cunningham.
So Joe, what other events do you have coming up? When you want to tell everybody where you're playing? Give us a schedule of what you got going on.
So not this coming weekend. Next weekend we're off. March 7th. We're going to be our debut performance at the Marina Grill. It's right there in Belmore on Route 35. It's free admission for all you cheapskates out there. I'm not saying, why'd you turn?
Did you ever hear the comment?
That's not you. That's not you.
Ever hear, if it's for free, it's for me?
No, Marina Grills. So be great to see a lot of people come out. It's going to be a good show. Nice time there. I love it. That's 8:00 Marina Grill. Next, it's a pre-parade party. They're actually going to have a parade. Belmore got canceled, which I don't know when they're moving. When are they moving that Belmore parade to?
I heard the end of March.
Really?
Yeah, I guess. And when I heard that they're canceling it,
yeah, because
we sat there and thought about, okay, why are you canceling? Get rid of the snow, but you got to realize this. And I call all these. I call March in New Jersey the shit show month.
Yeah,
for many reasons. Look, I'm not making fun of people who like drinking. I was the biggest partier in the world. Okay, I went to the parades. I lived in Belmar and watched what people did at these parades. So I know why they canceled it. If there's mounds of snow, I could see people making snowballs and throwing them at the marchers. So unfortunately, you got to think that way in today's world. Okay, you have to.
Yeah, look what's going on in New York.
I mean, you have a bunch of drunken idiots. They're going to grab snowballs and think it's cute and funny and want to throw a snowball at the marchers. And you know what that'll cause? There'll be fights. So you can't have mounds of snow all over the place. So people are going, why are they canceling it? Get rid of the snow. Can't get rid of 2 feet of snow that quickly,
Right. So another show we're going to start promoting, I think, as soon as Tommy gets the poster ready, is going to be at Bar A on June 20th, 5 p.m. on the outside summer stage. It's we're doing a show called The Stars of New Jersey. We're going to be doing music by all the top people, I should say, that came out of New Jersey and had big hits. We're going to be doing music by Frank Sinatra, Southside Johnny, Springsteen, Blondie, Lady Gaga. Believe it or not, from New Jersey. A lot of people don't know that. Lady Gaga. Paul Simon was from New Jersey. Did I say Blondie? Blondie was from New Jersey. So this is a show we're putting together. It's going to be a huge band, probably 12, 13 people on stage. And we're going to have all different people come and sing with us.
What date is that?
June 20th, Bar A. Tickets will go on sale in another couple of weeks. 5
tickets. You got to buy a ticket.
You got to buy a ticket. And don't be getting those Fugazi wristbands.
Put no Not a free show. On. Not a free show. June 20th. Is that a Saturday or is that what's that?
Saturday afternoon. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. In the middle of summer, and if it's nice out,
beginning of summer. Yeah.
Not a bad place to go, right?
And then 4th of July, we're going to be headlining the Long Branch fireworks. 250 years in USA. Yep.
I saw you there last year, right there for the fireworks. That place gets packed.
July 4th, yeah. So that should
Are you
be a
doing
good.
Memorial? Are you doing Memorial that Friday
Yeah, Memorial Day
before
we do
Memorial Day?
Friday afternoon at Martell's. Every year we've been doing this forever, I believe. That's 1 in the afternoon. I think we go on, or
Been
two,
there a
two to
couple
six, maybe
times.
2 to 6. I think it is. Yeah, we do that every year, and we've got a bunch of dates at Martell's, also at Jenkinson's. We got a bunch of dates, so we got a nice schedule. Just enough. I don't want to overdo it.
How many shows do you do a year?
Oh God, probably not that many. Believe it or not, maybe 50, 45, 50. It's enough. You know.
And it's got to be. Let me ask you this: You're married. Is it when as a musician and you're doing these shows at night? I mean, what kind of stress does that put on a relationship, or do you have? How is it?
I try to balance my life. Is I'm an avid boater. I have a boat. We keep it in Red Bank. We go down there a lot. I love being on the water, and that's I try to balance that with my you know living at home. When we have a pool, everything with music. I think when you go overboard, it puts a stress on the marriage, and I've been down that road.
I'm part of
So
that club too, brother. So I,
yeah,
you know,
so
I
yeah, I love what I'm doing, and I like to balance it out. I like to
important.
travel a little. I think some of the biggest joys I get is I'm on my boat at 5 in the afternoon. The sun's going down. Got a couple cold beers and wine, whatever. A couple people and eating, and not worrying I have to go and take a shower and go somewhere. But then there's
I,
days I want to go somewhere and play. So that's
right.
why I like to pick and choose. Life goes by fast, man.
Not, you
We
know what? You're
lost,
not kidding. You're not
yeah, we
kidding. And
lost
as we
some
get
friends.
older, man, and you
Yeah,
find out people are getting sick and people are passing on,
yeah,
you got to live each day like it's going to be your last. And that's something that I'm learning.
yeah.
My story, and
Sure,
it's a lot of you guys I admire had your shit together. I'm going to get in a little my thing here. And I admire a lot of you guys because a lot of you, no doubt, partied. I did all that, got the
yeah,
T-shirt, didn't get me anywhere, but I wasn't responsible. So I look up to a lot of you guys who are getting close to retirement age, and I joke with my girlfriend, I said, I'll be working forever because unless I hit the lottery, I did all my fun in the beginning, and
yeah,
you know I didn't. You guys, I watch a lot of you guys, and I sit there and go, shit, I should have my crap together at a young age. And even as a musician, I don't know. I've heard stories about you, and they're all positive, to be honest with you. And you're a good guy, and I consider you a friend, and I really appreciate you coming over to me
sure,
because I know you've been busy, and I know that. I mean, you have a full time job, you're married, you're doing music, and I think that this is great that you and I did this because I think it tells a
oh
little bit
yeah,
about you as a person and some stuff that people don't know about you. I mean, those close you know a lot about you. I don't know everything about you. I do see you out in your boat in the summertime. That's the best thing about social media. I don't have to go out. I watch everybody. I watch you guys on your boat drinking cocktails or seeing you go down to Florida drinking cocktails and having fun, and
yeah,
that's what life is about, man. That's what life is all about.
sure is, man. Sure is. Balance it out. That's the whole key of life, balance. Yep, that's sir.
My friend, I appreciate you coming on with me.
Yeah,
Um, and I will see you at one of your shows, and I will pay for a ticket. I trust me.
don't be coming with no Fugazi wristbands.
For KZ wristbands, or can you just let me in? I know the band members. All right, Joe. Thanks for coming on with me, man. I
Yeah, it was
appreciate it. I'm
fun.
sure we
I
learned
can't
a lot
believe
about you.
when you first said we're going to do an hour. I was like, wow, what are we going to talk about for an hour? But it went fast. I can't believe it. It's almost an hour already. Wow, a couple
We
minutes.
can talk about so much, man. I mean, I did this. Next time I do something with, if I get you back on again, hopefully, and
Yeah,
when I get Eddie back on, I said this to myself. I said, shit, I could have had Eddie play a song. You know what
yeah.
I mean? Because
I didn't think of that too.
once you start talking, this goes fast. I mean, people think it's not easy. I've done it when I broadcast high school football. I prepare myself. I mean, I don't come in here winging it. I mean, I had myself prepared of what I wanted to ask you,
Hmm.
and I thought it would be it. What I have to be careful of when you do these things is I want to make sure that it's interesting to the listener and the viewer. I
Right.
mean, you have great stories, and all you musicians do, and I think that's really awesome. And that's what I want to hear. I let you guys dictate it. If you say something like you said about James Brown, that led me into another question that I just came to the top of my head because it's two ears and one mouth. I listened to you, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to ask. That's going to make me ask him a question about this, and that's how I do it. It's like two guys, as I told you, just relax, have a good time with it, and that's all it is. It's all about you, man. It ain't about me.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. I'm telling you. After I know we sign off, I'm going to be saying, God, why don't I talk about this? Why don't I talk about that? There's a couple of other funny stories I would like to say, but you forget them. You're sitting here, looking at each other,
Well,
talking, and you
I
forget.
had Ed. I had Ed text me. That's where the one question from. And so I keep telling people, hey, look, you don't have to come in the studio. You can come in the studio and ask a question. You can even come and chat. I mean, eventually I'd like people to get involved more. And Ed sent me a text and I started laughing. I'm like, is he setting me up here? So that's the whole. I don't know who the guy is. What he mentioned. He said, ask Joe about this guy.
Honestly, you don't know Chuck Zito? Really?
No, I don't.
He was
You
the
gotta
head of
understand.
he was the head of the Hells Angels, New York
I
City.
should know who that is.
The president of the Hells Angels.
Yeah, Ed told me you guys were at the Yankee game with the head of Hell's Angels. That's who it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Hell's
Funny
Angels.
guy.
Don't piss them off, I guess, right? All right, Joe. Thanks for coming on with me.
All right,
I appreciate
George.
it.
All right.
Have a good night. I'll talk
See
to you soon.
everybody on
All
the
right, brother?
7th, all right? March 7th, Marina Grill.
You know what? I'll get to the Marina Grill. You know
All
what?
right.
I have to come out and support you, brother.
All right, man. Take care, everybody.
Talk to you, man.
All
Go
right. That was
Sixers.
fun. God bless.
See you, brother.
Bye.